So during the past year or so, I've been having the same conversation over and over again. The conversation usually starts off with someone explaining how they were trying to play a backwards compatibility game like Modern Warfare 2, mainly Modern Warfare 2 to be honest, but loads of backwards compatibility games also like MW3, COD 4, even me personally, Trials Evolution. I can't get into any games, just doesn't work at all. I'll show you some screenshots, some videos of that. But anyway, we have this same conversation, and it usually starts off with them saying, you know, they can't get into one game on Modern Warfare 2, for example, and essentially they're saying the game is completely dead, and then my reply is usually, I explain the issue with matchmaking and XOnline, and you know how it's like an Xbox issue with servers. So about a few weeks or a few months before the Xbox Series X came out, I thought that Xbox would fix the issue on next gen. Now I can confirm that the issue is not fixed on the Xbox Series X or Xbox One, and is still affecting almost all backwards compatible titles on Xbox 360, Xbox One, and the Series X. This is a real letdown for me, and also I know it's a letdown for essentially the rest of the COD community who still play the older games. And I don't know about you, but I know for me that, you know, with Cold War coming out, not a lot of people are going to be playing the older games right now. But as the weeks and months go on, those games will be calling our names, and we'll be getting straight back into them. In my last video about the issue, I forgot to add in gameplay from PS3. I got a PS3 just after making the first video on this issue. I thought that I needed to show the sheer difference from PlayStation to Xbox servers, especially after the launch of Call of Duty, Cold War, and the Series X as well. So yeah, I'm gonna put some footage of that in right now, I guess. So I also have a method to get around the waiting times of when you click on Xbox Live on Modern Warfare 2 and other games, where and this will only work for the Call of Duty games that have this issue. I'm not sure if it will work for other games. I know that on Trials Evolution this doesn't work. Trials Evolution is completely you can't play the multiplayer. It's completely offline, and I'll as I say, I'll show some videos, maybe some pictures of what happens when you try to play the Trials Evolution. But I've got a method to get around essentially like the waiting time that you'd have to sit there and wait while it says the online status and fetching playlists. So essentially what you want to do is, if you get this error, and it will essentially say fetching playlists, updating ranks and unlocks, and connecting to matchmaking server. But it will say connecting to matchmaking server complete, and then the rest will just be loading. You can actually get it in different orders. Sometimes it will say it can't connect to the matchmaking server, and you know, vice versa. So what you want to do is you want to essentially sign out of your account and sign back in, and keep doing that until it gets you in first try. I hadn't had this issue until I would say a good like 3 or 4 months ago. I never had this issue before, so I think I'm not too sure what happened, but I know that something had changed, and then it meant that now we have a new issue, and it's like it's still as bad as the old issue, but it makes the old issue like 10 times worse. So instead of not being able to get into a game, you can't even get into the multiplayer without having an issue. So yeah, so what you want to do is just press the middle button on Xbox, sign out, sign back in, and I've probably only ever had to do it. It's every now and then. It doesn't happen all the time, but when it happens, it's very annoying. And I actually, while I was recording this footage, it actually took a good like 20 different signing out and signing back in. Like usually you get it in like 2 goes, like signing out and then signing back in. But this specific time, it actually took about 20-30 times signing out, signing back in, signing out, signing back in. But I had to cut it so that it would actually fit in the video, because it was literally like 20 minutes of me just signing out and signing back in. So yeah, it was pretty horrendous. These are just a handful of comments from my other videos on the issue. The amount of people sharing their experience just shows the sheer number of people who still play these games and have the issue on a daily basis. If you want this issue fixed on Xbox, you need to like the video, You need to comment your experience with Xbox backwards compatible games. You need to tweet the video at Major Nelson, at Xbox P3, even at Xbox and Xbox support on Twitter, and essentially any other people you know who may have some sort of status at Xbox, whether that be YouTubers or even just staff, people who you know of who are like public facing, and they might be able to do something. If you know of anyone, like, contact them on Twitter and link this video to them. Also, consider tweeting at Activision and Infinity Ward. Although the issue isn't essentially on their end, they may have some way of contacting Xbox, or they may be able to raise it with Xbox, and who knows, maybe they'll be able to get it fixed as well. This is a quote from the official Xbox news blog from the 14th of September 2020, advertising backwards compatibility for the Xbox Series X. Our goal has always been to empower gamers to play the best versions of games from across 4 generations of Xbox at the launch of Xbox Series X. These principles were key to us from day one and influenced many of our design decisions as we started on our journey to create our most powerful and compatible console ever. I would say this can't be true with the current state of backwards compatible game servers on all Xbox consoles. So what else can I say? Remember, like the video, share it on Twitter, comment your own experience, and help fix backwards compatibility.